webcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the next installment of our INBOX25 4.0 webinar series. Today, we're going to be covering landing pages as a marketing tool within INBOX25 4.0, as well as some best practices for building landing pages and constructing them around your marketing program, on top of a live demonstration of actually building and utilizing landing pages within INBOX25. So before we get started, just some general housekeeping. I'll be running this demo today, the entire webinar solo. So if you do have any questions during the course of the webinar, please absolutely pop them into that question dialog box. I won't be able to get to the questions during the actual webinar, but I will be doing live Q&A at the end of the webinar. As another reminder, you can get the latest information, including when this webinar is released or the recording, by following us on Twitter at INBOX25. And our recorded webinars, as well as our webinar schedule, is also available on our blog on INBOX25.com. So the recorded webinar should be up later today. So if anyone wants to reference it, those are the best two places to get the link. So this is what we're going to be covering today. We're here for landing pages and our form builder. And before we actually dive into the live demonstration, I did want to spend a little time reviewing exactly what landing pages are, and even more so what landing pages are not. This may be the first time that folks are hearing about landing pages as a marketing tool. Obviously, it's a new addition to our platform, so I did want to start with some of the basics before we actually dive into the nuts and bolts of the actual construction. So some of the questions that we're going to want to answer today, or help you to answer, are what is a landing page, how you can actually use landing pages, what type of content you should offer on landing pages. We'll cover some best practices that you should absolutely try and observe when utilizing landing pages in your marketing program. Then finally, I will do a complete end-to-end walkthrough of building a landing page, collecting conversions, and we'll also spend a little time discussing exactly how landing pages touch and interact with other features that are built into INBOX25 4.0. So first up, what is a landing page? And on the outside, a landing page is typically a visually appealing micro web page, if you will, with a form that visitors are asked to complete and submit. You can think of a landing page as a targeted and personalized sales pitch, specifically designed to get your visitors to take some sort of action. That action is, again, typically filling out a form. This can be an unidentified visitor just giving you basic data for the first time, or a hot lead that's providing you a last bit of detailed information to help you close a sale. Landing pages focus around what's referred to as a call to action, or CTA, in which you basically offer users something of value in exchange for them giving you their information and basically permission to market to you. The goal is to have your visitor or prospect complete the exchange of data. So basically what you're offering for their information, and then convert by actually completing that process and exchanging the data. So that's what a landing page is. Now let's actually talk about what a landing page is not. So again, just as important as it is to understand, what the basic concept is behind a landing page, it's equally important to understand what a landing page is not. A landing page is not your company website. It's not even a website, or even a typical web page. They're super simple, scaled back, short and sweet, and really focused on one single call to action. Simplicity is really key because you do not want to distract your targets and your visitors from one main goal, or from one of the main goals, which is just to convert on the page. So now let's talk about utilizing a landing page. Once you have your call to action set up and your landing page has been built, then it's time to begin driving traffic to your landing page through your various marketing channels. So if you're running social campaigns, then you should direct folks to your landing page and entice them with your call to action in your social posts. If you're running a pay-per-click campaign or multiple pay-per-click campaigns, like with Google AdWords, then your ad should direct to at least one of your landing pages, and ideally, each of your AdWords campaigns, which are typically personalized and targeted, would then also have a corresponding landing page that's just as equally personalized and targeted, and all based on the same call to action. And that could just be downloading a white paper, requesting a demo of your product, or requesting a quote. So those are all examples of calls to action. Even if you're actually handing out literature at a trade show, definitely drop on your lit a URL for your landing page. So this is a great way to track leads that come in from the trade show. But again, also a great way to keep everything concise and within your marketing automation platform. So the typical flow for a landing page is a known or unknown visitor views your call to action, arrives at your landing page, and either converts on the page or decides not to complete the exchange and leaves. If your prospect does convert, that's most likely because they value your offer in some way. And then you can either direct them to a landing page or to whatever the specific offer was. So if you were offering to give them a white paper about your product or service, then a logical redirect for them after they complete the form would be for them to go and be able to see and download that particular white paper, whether it's a PDF or a document, whatever the case may be. So just to recap, we're starting with constructing a call to action and then building that into a creative landing page. Then the first step after that is to begin driving traffic via your marketing channels. Again, whether that's just typical organic search engine optimization, pay-per-click campaigns, social campaigns, trade shows, or even email, you want to start driving traffic to these landing pages. The landing pages are going to accept that traffic, and your prospects and your visitors are going to view your call to action and either convert or abandon your landing page. In either case, we track both of those metrics. And then the follow-up, the final step, is the thank you and the delivery of whatever that particular value is that you are offering. Again, I'll use white paper as an example. Okay, so that's the basic gist of utilizing a land page. So let's actually now check out some examples of landing pages. But before we actually do that, I think we can probably boil this down a little bit better in terms of what questions you should be able to quickly answer when you're constructing a call to action and your landing page. The idea is that you want to look at this as, if I am the visitor or I am the prospect and I arrive at the landing page, some things need to be very clear and very quickly communicated to your visitor or your prospect before you lose them. Chief of which is, what's the offer? What is it that you are offering me? What makes this offer valuable to me to exchange my data in exchange for this particular value that you're offering? Another very important component is, why do I have to act now? Why can't I just leave this page and come back later and still have the same value? And then, of course, if you do want me to convert, how exactly do I do that? So obviously there's a form component to that, but you really want to make things crystal clear to people, which is why landing pages need to be kept simple. So let's actually take a look at two, what I would refer to as powerhouses that were spending tens of millions of dollars on online marketing about over a year ago now. I think many of you probably have already seen these, but I think that these are very good examples of landing pages at work. So first up would be the Obama campaign. So again, this is a very good example of a simple and attractive landing page with a very clear call to action. You'll notice that unlike a typical website, there are no buttons. There's actually really nothing besides a very impactful image to catch your attention, very clear branding that you know that this is from Barack Obama. and the call to action is also extremely clear. And also notice the labeling on the submit button, learn more. It's very non-threatening. It doesn't imply any huge obligation from the visitor if they submit their email address, except that they're going to learn more information. So if we go through the 4 questions that we should be answering for the user very quickly, starting with what's the offer? Okay, so let's look at this landing page and figure out what's the offer. Well, the offer is very clear. It's to join the movement because obviously you've arrived at this landing page because you must believe in change. So then so if that's the offer, then what is the value of that offer? Well, if it's 2008 and you're a U.S. citizen, then Barack Obama is a celebrity, is cool, and you want to be part of the movement. So that's the value. And again, that's reinforced in the messaging. Change we can believe in as the main header, followed by the call to action, which is join the movement. Now, why can't I wait? Well, it's a movement, right? So it's going to keep moving without you. You better hop aboard while you can. And finally, how do I join the movement? Very easy. Email address, zip code, and the very non-threatening learn more button. So again, this is a very great example of what a landing page is and what a landing page ought to be. So just to make sure we're being fair and balanced, and also to prove a marketing point of consistency, we'll take a look at our next example, which is the Romney-Ryan campaign. So at first glance, this page sort of looks exactly like the Obama '08 landing page, but it's a little bit different. They do have a completely different logo and completely different headshot. But besides the layout being a little bit different, this really does reinforce the marketing perspective that no matter what political spectrum you reside on, marketing is marketing. But there is one important difference that goes to our point earlier about personalizing landing pages. And if you notice, this particular landing page is actually targeted to people in California, which means that this particular landing page was probably utilized in conjunction with driving traffic that was geo-targeted. So they knew they were going to be getting people from California. So when you get there, you arrive at this landing page from California, it's a little bit more personalized for you. And obviously the end result would be that you'll get a deliverable that's related to California as well. So if you are a voter in California and you're worried about signing up because you don't want to get all the nationwide Romney campaign literature, well, now you can rest assured that you're only going to get the stuff that may be more statewide and local for you. So again, it's important to remember that you're not confined to just one landing page in your marketing program. I mean, in fact, you should have multiple landing pages, and this is a great example why. And the reason is again, you want to target and personalize your call to action. So in the case of the Romney campaign, specifically, if they were buying AdWords slots based on searches in the geographical region of California, then they could direct all their click-through traffic to this page or any other number of pages designed for California visitors. And the other thing I want to mention too about this is, they also did a great job of leveraging social media in almost a testimonial sense. If you look under the form fields and getting started, you'll see that they have just under 9 million likes. Well, it's a great way to help reinforce why people should get started because 9 million other people have. So it's a good addition to a landing page to help reinforce that, hey, there are other people out there that have used our product or service or buy into our message. So let's get to our 4 main questions. So what's the offer here? And the offer is very clear. It's to get the latest campaign news from the Romney camp in California. What's the value? Well, because you're on this page, you're probably from California, and this would be the latest news. And, this guy could be president. So, might not be a bad thing to be in the loop on. Why can't it wait? Well, what good is news if it's stale? This is the latest news, so better now than never or late. And how do you do it? Same concept as with the Obama landing page: email address, zip code, and a very non-threatening get started. So again, very good use of landing pages, very good use of simple design, clean design, and driving home the call to action. So now let's keep moving. And since we just took a look at two different landing page examples, obviously I don't think anyone on today's webinar is running for political office, so I could be wrong. So let's talk about more of a B2C or B2B model. And I personally recommend that you have landing pages that are specifically configured for every part of your sales cycle. And what I mean is you can direct visitors and new leads to one set of content that might be available from a landing page, while you may send folks that are either sales ready or almost sales ready to another set of content. So all depending on where they actually are in the sales cycle. Maybe an easier way to describe that would be a cold lead would probably be better served by a different set of content than a warm or hot lead, because they've already gotten the gist of your company. They've already gotten the baseline of your product and service. They've already indicated they're interested in your product or service. So you don't really need to do, say, introductory content for folks that are already aware of your company and have already progressed through your sales funnel. So just some examples of content that can be delivered. Webinars, webinar signups, seminars, videos. Videos are a very popular deliverable for landing pages. Hey, give us your information and we'll share this video with you. Product checklists are also good. And of course, industry info, maybe industry reports. For folks that might be a little bit further along the way and have already expressed interest in your company, your product, your services, specific product white papers for products that they've expressed an interest in, customer testimonials to help reinforce a product or service that they may be considering purchasing from you. Free trials and demo requests are great for landing pages. Competitive analysis, to explain why you're different than another vendor. Are also very popular with landing pages, because if someone is considering your product or service, what better than to actually show them, what the differences are between you and your competitors. Consultations and requests for consultations, and references, which I would also put together with testimonials. So before we actually dive into the demo, I do want to just cover some tips and best practices, and we sort of just cover them going through the examples, but just to kind of loop back around and bring everything home. Let's start with staying focused. So the most effective landing pages will focus on a single message and a single call to action. You should absolutely avoid trying to toss more than one offer up on your page and just hope that something sticks. It's going to be confusing for visitors. They're going to end up not knowing what they're supposed to be doing or what they're even going to be getting, in which case they probably aren't going to convert and exchange anything with you that would be useful for your marketing. You want to keep your content and graphics consistent with your other marketing creatives. And what I mean by that is, so folks are going to be arriving to your landing page from some marketing medium. So maybe they received an email, maybe they received a handout at a trade show, maybe they clicked on an ad on Google. All of those had some call to action associated with them to entice the user to click the link. And whatever they clicked on, or whatever the source was that drove them to your landing page, you need to keep the messaging the same. So when people click on the AdWords campaign, when they take your printed material that has this URL on it and visits the website, it has to be the same message. They have to be looking at virtually the same thing, so they know they've gotten to the right place. And that they are going to be executing the offer that they received or saw on a different marketing medium. So again, keep everything consistent. Whatever mechanism you're using to drive folks to your landing page, keep all of that messaging and the graphics, if you can, consistent across the board, if there are graphics, of course. Next, personalize your offers. Your message and your offers will definitely vary from different market segments, different demographics, like we showed with the Romney example. And while it requires you to make and build extra landing pages, it's really worth it. It's a best practice to display landing pages that correspond directly to each of your segments, your demographics. And if you try to convert all segments and all demographics with a single landing page, you're definitely going to end up alienating some group or some segment or some demographic. When in truth, just by building some extra landing pages and putting a little more front-loaded work, you'll end up converting more. And again, with Inbox25, you are not limited to any number of landing pages, so you don't have to limit your marketing program either. So the next thing, spell out a clear call to action. So the entire purpose of your landing page is to spur action by prospects. And you really need to position that call to action somewhere on the page that they see it immediately, they understand it immediately, they know what that value is. And again, I go back to the Obama and the Romney examples. Both of them, it was very clear immediately what it is that they wanted and how you were supposed to, as a visitor, execute. The next one, I can't stress enough. Keep everything so very, very, very simple. When it comes to converting prospects, you really need to keep your marketing and overall, what's the best way to put this? I guess marketing fever toned down as much as possible. This isn't a hard sell. You don't have to really overdo it with folks. So you want to keep the forms as short as possible, just to get enough information that you need that you can continue on a dialogue with them. Keep images to an absolute minimum, and make sure that the images that you do use both support your brand or whatever your call to action is. And text, don't use a lot of gimmicky promotional verbiage or text. It's either not going to be read, or it's just going to, again, distract from the main point, which is to execute on that call to action. Finally, test. Does a yellow button convert more visitors than an orange button? Does learn more work better than getting started if you're the Romney or Obama campaign? Does a black and white image convert better than color? All these things can depend, and they can depend on your segments, on your demographics. And again, I come back to the point that you are not limited to any certain number of landing pages with Inbox25. So by all means, build as many as you'd like, as many as it takes to make your marketing program successful and give you the options that you need. So that's the intro into landing pages, what they are, what they're not, the utilization, two great examples, and tips and best practices that, again, you should absolutely try to adhere to while you're building and implementing landing pages into your particular marketing program. So now let's actually dive in and build a landing page. So the first step will be to log into your Inbox25 account, and then go to Pages and Forms and Landing Page Manager. So from the Landing Page Manager, we're going to scroll down to the bottom and click Create New. And the first step is to choose the layout for our new landing page. Now, layouts are interchangeable, so if you select one and then you build out your page, you can always go back and select a different design, and we'll port over any images that you add, or any obviously your form and all that. So I'm just going to go ahead and select landing page and click Create Landing Page. So the landing page builder is split into two distinct columns. The column on your left is what we refer to as your configuration pane, and the column on your right is your live canvas. So as you're building your landing page and adding things and changing it and personalizing it, basically all those changes are shown in real time, so you can get a real-time preview of exactly what your landing page is going to look like. So let's start with the basics. Right on the left panel, you'll notice that there are 5 different icons at the top. Each of those represents the actual setup and configuration parameters for your landing page. So they're linear, so you should try to go in order. But once you complete the required information for configuring your landing page. Then you can hop around and you can go back and you can modify and you can tweak and do all that. So the first step is we're going to enter a title for our landing page. Now the title is going to be used both in the URL, the browser title, and depending on the template, it could also be used as a main title or a header. So it's important to again keep your call to action consistent. So I would recommend spelling out your call to action as clearly as possible in the actual title. Next, we're going to specify a form title. The form title appears at the top area of our landing page where the form resides. And you can almost consider this as a secondary header to, again, help further reinforce your call to action. Then we can actually add a brief description of our offer. And like we said earlier, we really want to avoid overdoing it, adding a lot of verbiage, especially any gimmicky verbiage. Anything that you add here, it should be very brief. It should only reinforce exactly what it is that someone's going to be doing to convert, or further bolstering what it is that you're offering, what that value is. So in our demo offer today, we're going to be offering 10 must-have drip campaigns, which would be a downloadable white paper. And to help bolster this particular offering, we said you can drive revenue with 10 drip campaigns that can also be implemented in under 10 minutes. And we'll add in start now. So when a visitor or prospect converts on your landing page, you have several options as to what should occur at that point. You can show a confirmation message. You can redirect to a page, for example, maybe a thank you page. Something that I also like to do is actually to redirect to another landing page, which is set up as a thank you page, but also has another form attached to it to continue collecting data from your visitor or prospect that is already now converted. Now they typically have a slightly lower conversion rate, but it's another opportunity to continue building that profile on your particular lead or prospect. So you can redirect to a page, or you can initiate a file download, which is very similar to redirect to a page, except you don't actually leave the page, and we initiate the file download for whatever URL you enter. So if it's a path to a PDF or a path to a downloadable video, anything like that is good to select with that particular option. So for our demo today, I'm just going to do show a confirmation message. Now, obviously, the call to action that I'm demonstrating here is to download a particular PDF, but in the interest of time, we'll do it this way. Okay. So now we have a very crucial component of our landing page to define. And this is actually the visual call to action, or it's the form submission button. This is sort of the last frontier of the offer. And again, this should also be crystal clear to the prospect as to exactly what their action is going to initiate. So since our call to action is to download a white paper, I'm going to label this button as download now. So you can also opt to use an image or a graphic for your button as opposed to a standard browser button. So if you really want to be impactful and you want something that's larger, stands out more, and goes a little bit further to identify the call to action and make it even clearer to the user what they're supposed to be doing to convert, then you can replace that standard browser button with your own image. So now finally, where are we going to be storing these new leads that come in? With INBOX25 4.0, you can choose to have records saved to a marketing list, Or if you're using our SugarCRM module with SimSync, you can choose to have either a new target, lead, contact, or account added to your CRM instantly on conversion or submit. It's also a good time to mention that Inbox25 does not create duplicate records. So if an email address already exists on your marketing list, then the landing page results are going to be appended to the existing records timeline report instead of a new record being generated. And the same applies for our SugarCRM integration as well. For this demo, I'm going to opt to have a new lead record created in SugarCRM after a form conversion. So remember, if you're using SugarCRM with SimSync and you're synchronizing your leads module with Inbox25 through SimSync, then SimSync has already created a CRM list in your Inbox25 account for SugarCRM leads. So that is in essence what we are selecting. And what would actually happen on conversion is SimSync would initiate when the landing page is submitted and sync the incoming data to SugarCRM as a new record or append it to an existing record, again, if the email address exists. And then once that update is performed in Sugar, then SimSync activates again to then add that new record or appended records information back to the CRM list in Inbox25. So to be consistent with our methodology of how CRM should interact with marketing automation, even though the landing page originates on the Inbox25 platform, we are actually initially recording that data to the CRM before it comes back into Inbox25 as part of the actual CRM list that then can be used with other functions. So CRM goes first, stays the primary data repository for everything, and then once that's complete, then the data comes back to Inbox25. Now, keep in mind, it took much longer to explain all that than SimSync actually operates. That whole round trip process would take less than 5 seconds in most CRM instances. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, so now that we've handled all of the basic first step parameters for our landing page, now we can actually move on to personalizing the color scheme for our landing page. Now you can modify the wallpaper color, and again, you see all these things in real time. You can change the header color. You can even change the, well, I'll be able to show you the highlighted field, but the highlighted field, basically, when your visitor hovers over any of your form fields, it just highlights it. And then for form backgrounds, you can change that to whatever you want as well. So what I will do, when it comes to picking a color, you can use our actual color picker palettes. You can use any of our predefined colors. You can also bring your own values, whether that's a hex value, an RGB value. So you can definitely hone in and get the exact colors that you need to match your existing corporate brand. So I'm just going to pick shade of blue. There we go. Okay, so now that we've personalized and changed around our color scheme, now we can move on to personalizing fonts. So our landing page builder comes preloaded with a number of web fonts that can really add a great touch to your landing page. The great thing about web fonts, what I like about web fonts, is they add almost an image-like quality without actually needing images. So if you want to, if our goal again is to keep our landing page lightweight, clear, and concise, it's great to have nice, stylish looking fonts without having to create images using stylish fonts. So that's why I like web fonts in particular. So we can change the font face to any number of fonts that we have. And we can also modify the color. So I'll just do a few examples for you. we go. And again, you can also change around the size. And we have some fun ones in here. So you can get pretty creative. And again, everything is shown to you in real time, so you know exactly what you have going on. Okay. So what I typically recommend is when we start adding fields, you'll see that there's also the field titles and field descriptions that you can modify the font on. So we'll hop back to this after we add our initial fields, so then we can, again, create a little more customization around those elements as well. They're a little bit difficult to preview until we actually have them. So now, with that said, let's actually move over and start using our drag and drop editor to build our form. We have 14 different field options to choose from. And all you have to do is simply select one by clicking on it, hold down your mouse button, and drag it over to the canvas. So we have basically only one set requirement for landing pages, and that is that you need to have an email address collection field. That's really the only required data metric that we have, but if you're going to be connecting your form to, say, SugarCRM, then you'll also want to collect name as well. So once we drop the field on the canvas, you'll notice that the settings panel also updated on our left column. And basically, what this does is this allows us to customize that particular field settings. So different form field types actually have different customization options. For example, a multiple choice field like a drop menu would give you the ability to select different options or create different options, which I'll show you right now. Keep adding in different options, and then you can move them up and down and prioritize them. All right. Okay. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and we can edit the field title and actually change what's shown to a particular visitor to describe what the field is doing or collecting. So we'll do that. Next, we can actually, this is one of the cooler functions. We can map our data fields that we're adding to our form to custom and default fields that exist either in our marketing lists in INBOX25 or also our CRM list. So basically, we can map data fields from the form to our particular module in SugarCRM. So the data is automatically written to a record in Sugar, whether it's existing, if the email address already exists in Sugar, or if it's a new record, we can send all that data over to Sugar instantly through SymSync. So I just created a full name data field. So I'm going to sync that with the name field in SugarCRM. And I'm also going to require that the field be submitted by our visitor or prospect. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my email address field. I'm going to remove the description just to keep things clean. And I'm also going to map this to the email address field in SugarCRM for my lead. And it's required. And I think the only other thing I'm going to add is a single text field to collect the company name for my visitor or prospect, to which I'm going to map that to account name. And again, I'm going to remove the description just to keep things clean. And I'm going to require the field. Okay, there we go. So now we've built our form. We've added our field mapping. And now we are actually ready to continue on with one more customization step before we proceed to adding our images. And like I said, you can actually you can traverse through the different setup steps at any point in time. You don't have to once you complete the actual required input parameters on the first step of the landing page setup, then you can go back and forth and make your changes and tweak things. So we're going to go back and just play with the fonts a little bit on our form fields. So go in here, we'll select, make them a little bit bigger, change the color. Okay. Okay, now we are going to personalize a little bit more with some final last touches, which is going to be adding in our logo and just updating the default image for the header. Okay. So I'm going to browse, upload. Now, as you're proceeding with setting up your landing page, I do recommend that you just, at any interval, just click Save Page so you can keep your work saved as you're moving through. Just a good best practice for the actual construction. Now we'll update the header. Okay. So now that we've gone through, we've personalized our landing page, we've entered all the data inputs. One thing I'm going to do is just change the highlighted color just to be a little bit less bold. Okay. All right. So now that we've entered in all of our required parameters for the landing page, like the landing page name, the content, our call to action, we've personalized it with different font types, different coloring. We've added our logo, and we've added a high impact image to grab people's attention. Now it's time to preview and publish the page. So we're going to click Preview, Continue. Of course. So your landing pages do need to have unique names. So this is going to be 10 must-have drip campaigns too. Okay. So once our page is actually published, we'll receive two different output options for the page. Before we get there, we can just take one final look at the page and then click Looks Good, Continue. Okay. So the first version, or the first option for the outputs, is a hosted version of our landing page, and that's this URL right here. So this is hosted by INBOX25, and basically it's includes all of the data metrics that we just included within our form, and it's hosted by us, so you don't have to deal with setting up the page, setting up the form, anything like that. But if you do want to have a more advanced option, and you do want to control styling a little bit more on your own, and you want to have more creative control, then you can grab just the HTML form source and action that's still managed by INBOX25 and drop it into your own page. So then you have complete control over the styling, but you would also be hosting it as well. So depending on what your technical capacity is, you have two options. We recommend using the hosted version because it's already set up, it's turnkey, it's ready for you to start sending traffic to. But if you need more customization options and you are an advanced user, then you could go with embedding the HTML on your own site. So now that we've built our landing page, let's actually talk about how these pages interact with other features of INBOX25. And the first is Site Monitor. And Site Monitor is our web visitor tracking platform. So landing pages actually play a critical role in Site Monitor as basically one of two entry points to being able to track a specific target that belongs to a marketing or CRM list on your website. So when a target or visitor that was previously unknown, when I say unknown, is they visited your website perhaps, but we don't know their identity yet, when they submit a landing page, we issue a cookie to that visitor that identifies them on your website going forward. So any of their activities, what pages they visit, how long they visit them for, how frequently they visit, if they were referred to the website by a search engine, what keywords they use. All of those good metrics are then identified and assigned to a specific record within your system. The next area of interaction would be with Scoreboard for custom lead scoring. Landing pages can influence scorecards, and you can allocate points based on landing page conversions, visits, abandonment, specific entries into landing pages. All of those things become actionable for lead scoring. With automated campaigns, landing pages can drive nurturing campaigns, drip campaigns. They can drive workflow. So for example, if a prospect visits and converts on a landing page, they can automatically be added to a new nurturing track, and then their sales agents can be notified of the conversion. So all these things sort of feed together and work together in conjunction, which makes it a pretty powerful feature. Now, one thing I do want to quickly cover in a little bit more detail, and we sort of talked about it a little bit earlier, is talking about how landing pages interact with our new SugarCRM integration with Symbiotic Sync, or like we call it, SymSync. So SymSync is the engine that powers our real-time SugarCRM integration. So when a visitor or prospect submits a landing page form that is connected to a CRM list, SymSync activates to record the data to the CRM associated with the list, and it does it in real time, like we covered earlier. So one important component to remember is that, with SymSync and with the SugarCRM integration, everything is handled in real time. So there's no waiting, there's no delays. Even as we mapped out the process for going from INBOX25 to Sugar and then back to INBOX25 to ensure that your CRM is in complete sync and is serving as the central repository for your data. All of that happens to be made possible by SymSync. Okay, so before we wrap up this webinar, I do want to take just a very detailed view at our reporting that's associated with landing pages. So to do that, I'm going to go to the Landing Page Manager. And then I'm going to actually select a version of this landing page that I created earlier that does have some results. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me choose one with a little more activity. Okay. So basically, much like all of the reporting that's built into INBOX25, is it's designed to be holistic in the sense that while you're looking at reports on, say, landing pages, we also want to provide you insight to what else is related to these metrics, right? So we want to give you insight to what else might be happening elsewhere within the platform for your specific target or lead. So the first thing that you're going to notice, starting at the header at the top, is visits. And visits are the total number of visits that are made to that particular landing page. And then we also break down the unique number of visitors that comprised those total visits, because obviously the same individual or same person can visit your landing page more than once in theory. The next metric is conversions, which is the number of submissions that were logged on your landing page. So again, we're showing the unique number of targets that also converted to make up that total number of conversions. And next we have opportunities. So this is another integration point for SymSync with SugarCRM. So basically what we're doing is we're showing both open opportunities and won opportunities that were in some way related with this landing page. So if a lead that ultimately became a contact or an account and then was ultimately assigned an opportunity, had they completed this landing page at some point on their path to working their way into an opportunity through your sales funnel, then we would relate this landing page to that conversion, which is very helpful to understand exactly how these different marketing tools and different campaigns and landing pages are all impacting a particular opportunity, and even more so your sales funnel. So to see which landing pages ultimately lead to the most opportunities one versus another can give you insight over to what might be working on that landing page and that offer that might not be working on others. So the last metric in the main header at the top is the conversion rates, and that's the percentage of visitors that arrive to your landing page and then ultimately convert and submit to your call to action. So now moving to the next row, we're going to see filtering options for the main results table. So by default, we'd be looking at today's activity, but this landing page didn't have any activity today. So we're going to change that to show all activity. Okay. So now that we have activity in the table, and if we shift down to the results table, we'll see that there is a lot going on. Again, we strive for this holistic view of your marketing program, and we're trying to relate these landing page results with these particular contacts and targets with different functions that are available through our marketing platform. So starting from the left column, we'll see the converted target or contact, the date and time of their visit to your landing page, the date and time of the conversion of their landing page. We can view the specific results of their submission on your landing page just by hovering over. We can show their total lead score and, of course, the life cycle that they're in. And one very important component of the reporting is to see if they're currently engaged on a nurturing campaign. So are they in at least one automated campaign or not? As you can see, the vast majority of our folks who have converted on the landing page are not on nurturing campaigns, and that's certainly not ideal. If someone converts on a landing page, is a best practice. Having them automatically added to a nurturing path would be definitely a good marketing approach to handling your conversions. So one other component at the top. So this is obviously a filter version of our results, but if we want to have results since the inception of our landing page, we can actually download that in a spreadsheet format by clicking Export All Form Results at the top of the header. In which case you can drop everything into Excel or your favorite spreadsheet management program to manipulate from there, or do modeling, whatever it is that you might be interested in doing. But it does make this data a little bit more manageable if you need it outside of the confines of your CRM and INBOX25. Okay, so that concludes the demo. And at this time, we'll start going through some questions. Now, just give me one quick moment. I do have to pop open the questions panel and start pulling these open. And of course, it's a small window, so just give me just a moment or so to start getting into some of these. Okay. Okay, first question, and this appears to be on here a few different times. When will we be covering actually creating nurturing paths based on whether or not someone filled out a landing page, or how can I add someone to a nurturing campaign that filled out a landing page? So we do have, if you go to support.inbox25.com and navigate to Marketing Automation Made Easy, and then videos, we do have our end-to-end demonstration of automated campaigns, which does cover that. But you can also attend our automated campaign webinar, which is next week. I believe it's Monday. If you go to inbox25.com and scroll down to the bottom, there's a link, webinar events, and you can sign up for that. We'll definitely be covering a lot of the conditions that are available for landing pages in conjunction with automated campaigns as an example. Okay, let's see. What versions of SugarCRM do we support? So basically, and we've gotten this question on the last round of our webinar series, which was just covering the new SugarCRM integration. And basically, what I said then is, I mean, we're pretty good across the board. So whether you're using Community Edition or Professional or Higher, we support all those different flavors. The only version that we don't have any official support for is 6.4. So we have noticed some users that are still on 6.2, 6.3. Primarily, most folks are in the 6.5, or if they're on demand or have a paid subscription, they're on 6.7. Before the complete rollout of Sugar 7 is complete, we are planning on having a dedicated module just for Sugar 7 as well, which would definitely tie in all the functions that we're talking about right now, specifically around SimSync, which is the heart and soul of our new marketing automation integration with Sugar. Okay. Can I edit images that I add to my landing page, like in templates? So right now in our email template editor, you can actually manipulate images through our image editing tool, save them, and then have them apply to your particular template design. We don't have that yet in the landing page builder, but that is on deck for our next release of the landing page builder, which will probably not be for 5 or 6 weeks, but we will be adding that in addition to a few other features to sort of expand the creative options. Next question, do you have more than 5 templates? So right now we only have 5 basic template layouts. Again, much like our email template library, will be regularly adding new templates into the library that you can select from. But you have a little bit more design flexibility with the landing pages. So we're basically just providing a very basic layout, and then you can go in there and, like we demonstrated earlier, you can change around all the coloring and the font types especially. So you have a lot of creative control there. What happens if someone fills out a landing page and then comes back to another landing page that's for another offer altogether? I think what you mean is probably what happens when the data gets saved if someone's already completed it, and now they're coming back and perhaps responding to another offer with another set of data. So any new data that comes in that you've mapped to fields will be recorded to those fields. A new record will not be created if this existing target or contact who already filled out a landing page and is now filling out a different landing page is already in the system using that email address. Then we're just going to append these form results to their existing profile. And any field updates will be updated accordingly, but it'll all remain within the same record. Okay, we have time for one more question, and that is, do we support custom style sheets for our landing pages? And right now we do not, although there's no specific plan for adding that in the next version, but we have gotten some requests for it, so it's certainly a possibility. Right now, what we are recommending people do, they do need a lot of creative control over how their landing page is assembled from a layout and design perspective. Then you can go that advanced user route of grabbing the form source and form action, and then just embedding that within your own custom page. But for everyone else on the hosted front, I mean, you do have a lot of creative control, again, over fonts, over size, coloring, all the rest. So I would say most cases we'll be able to handle that way, especially if you're a SugarCRM user and you're just looking for a more comprehensive approach to building web-to-lead forms. Then this will definitely solve any of those particular issues that you're having, or lack of personalization, customization options. But if seeing style sheets as an option for manipulating your landing page is something that you're interested in, by all means, send us the feature request through support.inbox25.com, and we absolutely pay attention to that, and it does drive our feature development. So with that said, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This was another really good webinar, I think, and so far, the series has been going well. Next week, we are going to be diving into an introduction to Site Monitor, automated campaigns, and lead scoring, I believe. But you can get our most updated webinar schedule by going to inbox25.com. And then if you scroll down to our footer and select webinar events, or you can just visit our blog directly, you'll be able to find the schedule and also sign up for our actual webinars. So, all right, folks, thank you so much, and hope everyone has a great day, and we will be talking again very soon.